And this is another one that's been coming out today. A lot of people talking about Rey's lack of training, the argument about Rey being a Mary Sue or not being a Mary Sue. Now, I've always kind of argued on the opposite of her being a Mary Sue. I don't think she is a Mary Sue, but this explanation absolutely. Oh, guys. Oh my God. This explanation blows a hole in my own argument and makes it really hard to defend the character because it's just, again, so sloppily done. So according to the Star Wars story group here, all right, this is what they say here. Now, on the subject of Force abilities, it says that Rey has an innate Force power called psychometry. And this is what they say here. Some Force abilities require years of training, a form of instinctual aptitude, or a very strong connection to the Force to access. A small number of Force users, including Rey and Cal Kestis, have the rare ability of psychometry, which allows them to learn about people or events by touching an object associated with them. Now, before I give in my opinion of it, I did like the follow-up here from LRM talking about how psychometry was originally introduced in the Clone Wars animated show under a character named Quinlan Vos, who we did not get a lot of time with at all, but I remember him being very cool. But his ability to kind of read these experiences or these memories off of items or objects touched by the person he's reading, it becomes quite vivid. And Rey did have that in regards to touching Luke's lightsaber in episode 7. So there is some valid angle there. But when you look at the fact that the Force Awakens and The Last Jedi take place within days of each other, right? At the most a week, then it very much shows you that like she didn't have a lot of time to train. And so everything we saw with her and Luke in The Last Jedi took place over the span of like a day, like a day. And that even happened with Luke and Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back. It was very quick. It wasn't weeks and weeks and weeks of training. It was very, very, very rapid, because this is what happens when you have these kind of stories and you have to condense them down into 2 to 2.5 hours. But that being said, I completely agree with the author here when they say, I call this jumping the shark. I agree. The entire sequel trilogy was just J.J. Abrams and company jet skiing over a rubber shark. Now, that is not, I don't fully agree with that entirely. I don't think they jumped the shark entirely all the way through. What I think is going on here is I think that they spent, they did not, The Last Jedi effed everything up 100%. Okay. Because it took away so much. And the fact that they allowed it to happen is what screwed it all up. Look, you may like The Last Jedi, and I'm not knocking the quality of it as a film. It's not for me. It's for you. Great, cool beans. I hope you like it. But when it came to the structure and the format and the flow of a sequel trilogy telling these stories, it stopped everything dead in its tracks. And it undid so much of what was set up in the movie before it. Now, you may like what it set up going forward, but when you kind of have this weird Star Wars sandwich, and the bread is J.J. Abrams and the meat is Rian Johnson, you're going to run into some problems, because it could just be such a weird taste difference, like you're not going to want to put a chocolate muffin with a roast beef sandwich. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to be it's not going to be a good tasting meal. And now the Force group, or the Star Wars story group, are trying to find a way to explain this away, to explain away what's going on. And I just don't, I think they should just drop it. I think they should just drop it, because it's a terrible explanation. It really is jumping the shark. And they kind of double down even on another part of it too. So this is the final story of the day. This is coming in from Screen Rant, saying Star Wars Force Heal explanation creates a Mandalorian plot hole, which it does. Saying that Star Wars has attempted to explain the Force Heal power used by Rey and Kylo Ren in The Rise of Skywalker, and that it's created a plot hole in The Mandalorian. And I think Thomas Bacon here has kind of an interesting point. So this is what's going on. Lucasfilm Publishing has just released the Star Wars book with contributions from Pablo Hidalgo, Dan Zaire, and Cole Horton. In one section, it explores Force abilities. And according to Star Wars book, this Force Heal power is one that can only be used if you are part of a Force Dyad. Saying here, those in the Dyad possess another unusual ability. They can use the Force to heal a wounded person or creature. But this act also requires that the healer transfer some of their Force energy, which can temporarily weaken them. After the battle with Darth Sidious, Ben Solo sacrifices his life and all of his Force energy to bring Rey back from the dead, which was meant to be an act of love. You know, it was an act of love where they kissed. Then it wasn't a platonic kiss. That wasn't a platonic kiss. I don't care what they, oh no, they were like brother and sister. No, we've already gone through that. Okay. They weren't like brother and sister. This was not a platonic kiss. You forced some romance in, but you know what? It kind of worked. It kind of worked. It was set up there from the beginning anyway with a love triangle between her and Finn and Kylo, and that she was always going to be drawn to Kylo because she wanted to rescue him. But at the end of the day, at least according to John Boyega, when we talk about laying pipe, those are his words, not mine. I think in his world, he and Daisy Ridley, Rey, brown chicken, brown cow is my take on that one. But really in this situation, the Force Dyad, allowing them to have the ability to heal creatures and heal themselves. I mean, you know, it has a bit to do but what about Baby Yoda? Right? What about Baby Yoda? I mean, even here, I love this line here. Lucasfilm is essentially trying to tidy up after The Rise of Skywalker, using tie-ins to explore unanswered questions and resolve mysteries. Which is true. That's what this book is doing, even with the last thing. Oh no, Rey and Cal Kestis, they have the ability. One's a video game and one is a movie. Now, I know that JJ likes treated The Rise of Skywalker kind of like a video game. He did. Some of the way the story played out it felt very video game-esque. As an avid gamer myself, I caught on to that. It's not like the end of the world, but I caught on to it. You know, and then it doesn't fit even here. Talking about Ray Carson's novelization, saying that, you know, that when Rey, this is how Rey had learned the Force heals, and she was repairing Luke's lightsaber. According to the novel, Rey had pored over the ancient Jedi texts, and there she had learned powers that had been forgotten in the midst of time, including Force heal. She had used this to restore the fractured kyber crystal at the heart of the lightsaber, transferring her own life energy into it. But if the power is inextricably linked to the Force Dyad, then Rey should surely have also come into understanding her strange connection to Kylo Ren. Look, the Palpatine, the Force Dyad. I mean, it's like the movie. You know how much it sucks to be a Star Wars fan and to like criticize something that I like, because I do like The Rise of Skywalker, but my God, it's so hard. I can't defend the movie anymore. I've said that before too. I can't defend it. There is so much there that they are just trying to throw at it that's after the fact as a way of tidying things up. I mean, look, thank God we've got The Mandalorian. Thank God we've got all that, because at least that is something worth watching. That is something we're seeing. But this is really not doing it for me, guys.